Hello everybody, I'm Will Richardson and this is Poland Daily Travel. Good evening, and I hope you're doing well. By the way, you are looking just fine. I want to say greetings from Sieradz, and you might ask me, where is Sieradz? And I will tell you where. It's on the road between Warsaw and Wrocław. Warsaw and Wrocław, about a 3-hour drive, and we took off with the sun in mind because it was rainy. It's raining all over Poland, so we're looking for the sun, and we found it. Didn't have to go all the way to Wrocław, but on the way. And as you can see, it's a nice day. Some good clouds up. Look at this church. It's a fascinating old church in Sieradz here. You'll notice that some Romanesque arches and some later Gothic arches. Looking at this church, you can see that this is an ancient town, a town with some medieval prowess. Indeed, that's true because the king of Poland was 3 times crowned in Sieradz, 3 times. And during the time of Casimir the Great, who pretty much established, let me tell you this, that before we talk about Casimir, the first mention of the town is in the papers of Gniezno, right? So we're looking at the prominence of the town is from later than that, but from the it's a long time ago, 1300s, 1400s. The town was very prominent. This is the old coaching road. This is the road over centuries. It would have led from Silesia, from the southwest of Poland, towards Warsaw, towards Lithuania on the trade routes. Fascinating stuff. Also, the Warta River, one of Poland's smaller but important rivers, goes through town, as do traffic whenever I start talking. At any rate, let's move on and have a look at another location here. I've never been here. Much as I've been around Poland, I've never been here. I thought we'd stop. One, just to enjoy the nice weather after the rain from this morning, where we started off, and 2, just to have an on-the-road stop for you, something a little different. Sieradz it's called. And watch the trailer from our trip, this series of this particular road trip. And we'll be back with a different location in Sieradz. Then we'll move on for tomorrow night's program. Thanks for watching. Sometimes you have to find the weather, and look at this. Not bad. If it hadn't been for our road trip, changing our plans because of the weather, we're going to go again to eastern Poland. We wouldn't have stopped here. It's a very, very nice little place. And as I said before, the trailer that you just watched, it's a place with an ancient history in which three kings were nominated, also or selected rather than nominated. It's also about halfway between Warsaw and Łódź. Halfway between Warsaw and Wrocław. We're southwest of Łódź here, and we're headed that way. You see, that's the west. We're headed that way, just down that street I was talking about, which is the old marketing route, been there since medieval times, no doubt, leading right here to this amazing square. Well, I mean, the square, it's not amazing, but when you know a bit of the history, it's nice to imagine what it once would have been like, filled with coaches and people selling goods here in this rather large square. You often find these coaching towns, like Półtusk, for example. Półtusk, which is just east of Warsaw, they have a huge square, one of the largest squares in Europe. And this square is very large for the size of the town. It's very large because there was a lot of trading going on here in medieval times. Now this is interesting because you may have, I don't know if you're a student of hairdressing. I get my hair cut from now and again. Then I cover it with a hat most of the time, unless I'm doing my other show. And then I still tend to cover it with a hat. But maybe I wouldn't do that if I had this guy cutting my hair. This is Antoine, the famous Antoine of Paris, who they say, according to what I'm reading, was the first celebrity hairdresser. He used to do the hair of Sarah Bernhardt, the famous actress, who wore a scarf. She was a very flamboyant, beautiful actress. I believe, wasn't Sarah Bernhardt the one whose scarf got caught in her bicycle and strangled her? What a way to go. Don't need the mob. You thought that's something the mob would think of. Put a scarf on her and give her a bicycle and she'll strangle herself. We won't have to do it. Jean Cocteau was one of his customers. Brigitte Bardot was Greta Garbo. I mean, these are some of the biggest names in history. Coco Chanel, in the history of fashion and European actors. So Antoine of Paris. Ask maybe somebody in your family. One of the ladies once went there and got the haircut. Anyway, this is a nice representation of him. And this fella, Antoine, was from Paris. His name, Antoni Czerplikowski. But everyone knew him as Antoine, you see. A very French atmosphere. 1884 to 1976. So it was a nice, relaxing lifestyle. He lived a long and very successful life, making people happy. Died at the ripe old age. And look at that profile, isn't it lovely? Let's see. No, not quite the same. Anyway, look at this guy. He's a very elegant man, holding his comb and his scissors and his mirror, which you can just about see yourself in. Not quite. Died at the age of 92, being one of the great heroes of fashion in Paris, just from this small town called Sieradz. So you see, it's worth it to stop. I never knew that. It's worth it to stop and look around at some of these towns. Don't just hurry from one city to the next. I always urge you not to do that. Don't just get in your car and go, I got to get there as fast as possible, as we tend to do on the motorway. Stop off. Discover something that you didn't know. Discover a place you didn't know. And discover, a person like Antoine that you didn't know about, as I didn't. Okay. At any rate, thanks for watching, and hey, keep looking good.